New South Wales is a state of contrasting regions. Along the coast, the country is hilly, well-watered, and the climate mild. Behind the coastal strip is a belt of tablelands with winter snow on the highest parts. Immediately beyond the tablelands are the western slopes, mainly undulating country, where the state's wheat crop is grown. Beyond the slopes come the western plains, covering half the area of the state and typical of the great Australian inland. The Western Division includes most, but not all, of the western plains of New South Wales. It extends to the borders of Queensland, South Australia, and Victoria, and covers an area of 125,000 square miles. The Western Plains should not be thought of as being perfectly level. The country is mainly undulating, largely tree-covered, with occasional isolated hills and ranges, often of unusual shape. The Barrier Range near the South Australian border is well known. Here it was that a stock rider found the silver-lead ores which gave rise to the busy mining city of Broken Hill. About half the population of the Western Division lives at Broken Hill. On the Barrier Highway is another mining center. Other principal towns are centered on the Murray-Darling River system. This is Burke on the Upper Darling, serving a large pastoral area. And Wentworth in the south, at the junction of the Darling and Murray, the center of a series of thriving irrigation settlements drawing water from a weir on the Murray River. These developing settlements provide a striking contrast with adjacent dry country and show what can be accomplished in the Western Division when water is available. Here is Olive Downs in the far northwest. Isolated homesteads such as this depend on the flying doctor service in time of sickness. The principal river is the Darling, known in its upper reaches as the Barwon. It commences in Queensland, has some tributaries in northern New South Wales, and then winds its way across the western plains in a channel cut deeply between tree-covered banks. It joins the Murray River at Wentworth on the Victorian border, which forms the southern boundary of the Western Division. The Western Division was first opened up by navigation on the Murray, Darling, and Barwon rivers. Wilcannia and other towns were once thriving inland ports. Today, the river traffic has been displaced by rail, air, and road transport. The disused wharves and steamship signs are all that is left of navigation on the Darling River. Camels also were used in earlier years, and Cobb and Co's coaches played their part. Early gold mining settlements, like Milparinka in the far northwest, were originally served by such means. Today, Milparinka has lost its thriving mining population, but still provides mail services and amenities to the traveler in this land of vast distances between population centers. The Western Division has a population of 53,000, an average of 10 persons per mile of main road. The rest of New South Wales has a population of 3.25 million, with over 180 persons per mile of main road. Low rainfall is the explanation of this great disparity. The rainfall diminishes from 15 inches a year along the eastern border of the Western Division to 9 inches at Broken Hill. Here at the Queensland border, north of Broken Hill, the rainfall averages only 7 inches a year. It is on account of low rainfall that these vast lands are used almost entirely for the grazing of sheep, except where irrigation is possible from the rivers. Weirs on the Darling River conserve water for stock and domestic purposes. Broken Hill obtains its water from reservoirs nearby on Umberumburka and Stevens Creeks, and from the Darling River near Menindee. In the north of the Western Division, the scanty rainfall is supplemented by artesian bores. The vegetation differs from that near the coast. Typical trees of the Western Division are the mallee, cypress pine, wilga, belah, and the leopard tree. The apple tree is a hardy importation which grows readily under Western conditions. In good seasons, wildflowers, including the beautiful Sturt pea, provide an unforgettable sight. A special feature of interest at Broken Hill is the successful tree planting in the streets under very unfavorable climatic conditions. On the outskirts of the city, large regeneration areas have been established where, within fencing, natural grass, shrubs, and trees are being re-established in order to keep down dust in dry seasons. Wildlife is abundant in good seasons. Flocks of emus, galahs and white cockatoos, and mobs of kangaroos are a common sight. Waterfowl abound along the rivers and on the lakes. The traffic on the main roads of the Western Division arises almost entirely from its pastoral and mining industries. Much of the stock movement is by lorries, but there is some droving of both sheep and cattle. Cattle travel from Queensland, often with Aboriginal drovers, to meatworks and railhead at Burke and to railhead at Broken Hill. The road from Sydney to Broken Hill is 730 miles long. It follows the historic Great Western Highway over the Blue Mountains to Bathurst. Then along the Mitchell Highway to Nyngan, 370 miles from Sydney. From Nyngan to Broken Hill, the road is known as the Barrier Highway. It passes through Cobar, also a mining centre, and through Wilcannia on the Darling River. The Mitchell Highway beyond Nyngan leads to Burke and on to the Queensland border, where the road continues to Cunnamulla and Charleville in Queensland. The Sturt Highway extends along the southern border of the Western Division. There are two north-south state highways. One is the Cobb Highway, so called to perpetuate the early coaching firm of Cobb & Co. It connects Wilcannia with Hay and Deniliquin and joins the Victorian road system at Echuca. The other Peterborough North-South Highway is close to the South Australian border and extends from Queensland through Tibbaburra and Nuparinka to Broken Hill and thence to the Victorian border near Wentworth and Mildura. The state highways form only part of the main road network of the division, which includes 5,600 miles of road linking all main centers of population. Road construction in the division is largely conditioned by soil types and drainage. Some soils are very subject to erosion both by wind and water. The Gibber Plains of the northwest are the result of wind erosion for ages past. The soil surface has been blown away and the rock gibbers left behind. Wind erosion, in some cases, leads to the blowing away of road formations and the filling of ditches. Moving soil may block culverts and drift against fences. Extensive sand hills exist in some parts of the Western Division. When rain occurs, it is frequently in the form of heavy thunderstorms. These often severely damage roadworks and cause deep scars. Where black soil prevails, traveling is difficult in wet weather. Earth formations get deeply rutted when heavy vehicles are forced through under such conditions. It is the objective to strengthen or stabilize the surfaces of all black soil roads. In the Western Division, the Department of Main Roads aims to extend the benefits of improved main roads over as big a mileage as possible, as quickly as resources permit. Road making in the division presents special problems. Distances are great and population is scattered. Labor is difficult to obtain because of isolation and on account of other employment available in the mining centers and elsewhere. Main road improvement in the Western Division is carried out in stages. The first stage is the building of essential bridges or the provision of ferries. Bridges have been provided for many years past over the more important stream crossings. Bridges over the Darling and Barwon rivers were equipped with lifting spans for the passage of watercraft. Ferries are provided on the Darling River at Louth, Tilpa, and Pooncarie. The second stage is the construction of solid crossings at shallow watercourses and other low-lying places where traffic may otherwise be held up for long periods in wet weather. Such crossings are built of local stone and concrete. Is the building of long lengths of road formation with an earth surface. Finally, the earth surface is improved by use of gravels and natural soils. Because of the scarcity of suitable gravels, stabilization of the natural materials is carried out by blending local soils or gravels. Cement stabilization, to a very limited extent, has also been used. Black soil has been partly stabilized by the addition of local dune sands. On a few roads which carry fairly heavy traffic, bitumen surfaces are provided, as between Broken Hill and Penrose Park, a popular recreation area near Silverton. Another serves the irrigation areas at Wentworth. By carrying out road improvement in stages, the benefits are spread as widely as possible throughout the area. Existing routes established in the days of animal-drawn transport kept near bores, wells, and other water supplies. these routes are not necessarily the most suitable for modern motor transport. It is necessary, therefore, before embarking on a comprehensive program of improvement, to ensure that the work is carried out on a route which will be permanent. In order to select the best routes for main roads, the Department of Main Roads takes full advantage of air surveys. Considerable air investigation of existing and future routes has been carried out. Air photographs taken in the Western Division show up the drainage lines and soil conditions. This enables the routes of roads to be selected so far as possible to avoid difficult places. Not only is the cost of road construction reduced, but a much better road results, and in many cases, the interruption of traffic by floods is avoided. After determining the location, the first step in building a new road is to clear trees and bush. Here, this is being done by the use of bulldozers and a trailing cable between two tractors. The next step is to build the earth road formation. To provide a well-drained surface, new formations are frequently built a foot or more above the surrounding plain, with a ditch on each side. A plant unit specially suited for building raised formations is the elevating grader, drawn by a tractor of about 100 horsepower. As the machine advances, it excavates earth from the sides and deposits it along the line of the road. When sufficient earth is built up, it is shaped with a motor grader and packed down by a sheep's foot roller. Then it is evenly bladed to correct shape and width. This shows the elevating grader at work on the main road between Wentworth and Menindee. This is similar work between Burke and Wanering. After roads are built, they must be maintained. Damage done by water, wind, and traffic must be corrected. Regular shaping and smoothing of road surfaces are carried out by motor grader. Workmen operating plant in isolated locations live in caravans. Road machinery must be constantly maintained and repaired. Mobile workshops are used to carry out small repairs in the field. Soil, water, and good roads are all necessary to make production possible. It is the task of the Department of Main Roads to provide improved roads in the Western Division to the extent that funds will permit, so that production will be maintained and increased.